Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I'm just talking real slow here while people are coming onto the podcast. I'm just going to talk to you for a few minutes about the induction ceremony this afternoon for the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, taking place at 1:30 p.m. in Lancaster, New Hampshire. This is going to be at Crane's Snowmobile Museum on Main Street there in Lancaster. You can't miss the Crane's Snowmobile Museum sign as you're going through the Main Street there in Lancaster. I hope that you will come and join us. It's going to be a wonderful ceremony. This is the 5th annual induction ceremony for Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and this event just gets bigger and more exciting. No matter what's happening. My screen just went black here. Hopefully I'm going to be back. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think we still have a good connection. You can see my face and hear my voice. Please make a comment so I know that everything is coming over okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the museum. About the induction ceremony at Crane Snowmobile Museum this afternoon, as well as another event coming up. Also, one of the things, if you were tuning into my podcast today, I think it was Thursday morning, or was it Friday morning? Thursday morning, yeah. Doesn't matter, though. One of the things that I forgot to mention is that at the ceremony, we are going to be pre-selling a 5 DVD set. Now, this 5 DVD set contains a DVD for each of the induction ceremonies over the last 5 years for the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And disc number 5, of course, will be the ceremony that happens today. So I'm going to need a little time to edit that and put that together into a disc and everything. I hope to have that all ready by October the 15th to mail out. Now, the 5-disc set is available to pre-order. There's a link in the description here if you're interested in doing that. One of the things I've done to create extra value with this 5-disc set is I've added some extra bonus videos on each of the 5 DVDs. So there's close to an extra hour of bonus content on each of the DVDs, giving you well over 2 hours of content for each DVD. So you're getting a lot of value there. I'm also going to include a sticker in there. I don't have a sticker in my hand, but the sticker looks just like this. I've had some stickers made up, and I'll be including one of those in with the 5-disc set. The cost for the 5-disc set is $50 for the 5-disc set. Now, each of these discs alone would be $15 on their own, but if you order them in the 5-disc set, it drops the price down to $10 each, plus $5 shipping, because it does take some money to get that out to you. But let me get the graphic up. We're going to talk about the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. The induction ceremony begins this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. The ceremony itself starts at 1:30 p.m. You'll see that I have 1 p.m. there on the graphic, and there's a reason I've done that. The reason is this. You want to get there early, and you want to bring lawn chairs. So when you get there at least 1 p.m. So you can stake out a good spot for your lawn chairs. And that will also allow you some time, once your lawn chairs are set up, that will allow you some time to go into Crane's Snowmobile Museum and look around. There's over 100 snowmobiles in there for you to peruse. It's a wonderful museum, and it'll be worth the trip. It's kind of a 1-2 punch. You've got the ceremony and the museum. Now, if that weren't enough, there are going to be inductees, past, present, and future, there hanging around. These are the racers yesteryear will be coming en masse this event. Now, once the ceremony is over, we're all going to move over just a short walking distance away to the after party at the Lancaster Motel. The Lancaster Motel is the Lancaster Motel is a historic spot in town. Snowmobile racing, the induction ceremonies, not the induction ceremonies, I'm sorry. The award ceremonies, when they used to have the Lancaster Grand Prix, used to take place at the Lancaster Motel, and snowmobilers have been staying there and snowmobiling since the 60s. Now, in case you weren't aware, Lancaster, New Hampshire had the first snowmobile club in America. Some of the first trails, the first Ski-Doo snowmobiles were imported into the U.S. through Lancaster. So Lancaster is a very historic place. when it comes to the history of the snowmobile, and the Lancaster Motel was right there at the epicenter of it. Whatever was going on, whether it was the racing or the trail riding or all of the above, any of that, the Lancaster Motel was a part of that. And I encourage you to patronize them because they have been very loyal to snowmobilers all through the decades and continue to do so to this very day. As I said, they're having the after party for the induction ceremony this afternoon, and that'll be a great time. Also, I've got a vintage snowmobile show I need to tell you about coming up here in just a few weeks on Saturday, October 9th, just about a month from now, in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, right on Main Street in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, 4093 Main Street, Bethlehem, New Hampshire. If you're coming off of I-93, go east into the town of Bethlehem, continue through the little town of Bethlehem and on 2 or 3 miles, and you'll see the show there, the vintage snowmobile show there on the right. Now, the vendors and exhibitors, we like them to please arrive at 9 p.m. and the general public who's coming to spectate and to view the sleds, that begins for them at 10 a.m. So we want to give a little time for everyone to get set up. If it is a show and swap, so if you've got a table, if you've got swap items, there is a $10 fee for that, and you'll see at the bottom of the screen there's a phone number if you have any questions about the event. It's going to be a great show. I'm planning to be there, and a whole host of exhibitors that usually go to shows in this region are planning to show up as well. So it's going to be a great time. So if you could, I'll invite you to make some comments. If you have questions or comments about any of this, if you're planning to attend the ceremony this afternoon, the induction ceremony for the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, I'm just going to be getting ready here. I'll be heading out in the next hour or so. I want to get there a little early to help them set up, and I want to set up my cameras and all of that, get everything the way it needs to be for the ceremony, and just be on top of things. But if you're planning to attend, please say a shout out as a comment. Also, the other thing I wanted to mention too, let's say you were not within driving distance of the induction ceremony for the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, not to worry. You were able to watch it live. We're simulcasting the induction ceremony live on social media to 8 different places, simulcasting to 8 different places. So wherever you're viewing this podcast right now, just tune in, pull up that page, pull up that social media site at 1:30 p.m. and just reload it a couple of times, and you should see us right there. I plan to go live at 1:30 sharp this afternoon, 1:30 Eastern time, with the induction ceremony. And really looking forward to that. This is the first time we're taking it live like that. It's really exciting for everyone involved. And just the ability, there are a lot of people who are perhaps elderly or in poor health or both, who are unable to drive the distance. And then maybe they're a long distance away. They're not able to drive to attend the ceremony in person. Now this offers them an opportunity to view it from the comfort of their home. And it just makes it available to a lot more people, and even people maybe from the Midwest or other parts of the country who are not in the area but are just curious about what is this Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, this thing that has grown exponentially and had a lot of chatter around it and excitement around it. What's going on with that? You can, if you're curious about it, we invite you to tune in real time on the live podcast. And if you would, as you're viewing it live, I ask you to please make comments, especially as the inductees are receiving their awards. They won't see it in real time, but when they go back and review what am I trying to say? When they review the podcast, they'll be able to see all of those comments because I'm going to try to post the comments up in real time so people can see them and enjoy them. So as people are receiving their awards, please make comments to compliment them. That will really mean a lot to them down the road as they view that. And I'll try to find some way to get that on the DVD as well, because I think they would really enjoy that. This just occurred to me this moment, but I think that would be a really nice way. The nice thing for them to remember is all of the people making live comments to them and for them as they're receiving their award. That would be really special, I think. So yeah, I will ask you that favor. Please make comments as people are receiving their awards this afternoon. And if you're just joining us, I'm just here to tell you about the induction ceremony happening this afternoon in Lancaster, New Hampshire. This induction ceremony is for the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. It's going to be happening on Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire, Crane's Snowmobile Museum. I've got a graphic for it. Let me go back to that, pull it up. 1:30 p.m. at Crane's Snowmobile Museum. The graphic says 1 p.m. and there's a reason I've done that. It's a good idea for you to arrive early because you're bringing lawn chairs. You're bringing your own chairs. Coming at 1 p.m. allows you to stake out a good spot for your lawn chair, and then once the lawn chairs are set up, you have time to go into Crane's Snowmobile Museum and look around. There are over 100 sleds in there. It's a 50 by 100 foot building loaded with sleds of every imaginable type. Yeah, it's just a wonderful experience. And the other thing I mentioned too, there are inductees, past, present, and future, coming to this event. This is literally a who's who event of historic Eastern racing. If you enjoyed racing in the 60s and 70s, pretty much a who of Eastern racing will be in attendance here today, and it's a wonderful chance to get to meet them, have your photo taken with them, and listen to them swap stories with each other, which is always a lot of fun. They have amazing stories going around. And I hope you'll decide to join us today, either in person or online, because we're streaming it live. If you hope you, at the very least, you can watch the live stream. And then after the event, we're going to the after party at the Lancaster Motel, which is just a short walk from where the ceremony will be at Crane's Snowmobile Museum. And if you heard me a few minutes ago, I'm repeating a lot of this because people are just tuning in. The Lancaster Motel is a very significant place in snowmobile history. The first snowmobiles were imported, the first Ski-Doo snowmobiles were imported into the U.S. through Lancaster in 1959. And ever since then, the Lancaster Motel has been serving the needs of snowmobilers ever since. People coming in from out of town. They would also host the awards ceremonies for the Grand Prix and all the racing that was happening there. All of the racers used to stay there. Bob Eastman used to stay there. Gilles Villeneuve stayed there. It's an amazing part of snowmobile history, the Lancaster Motel. And that's where this after party is going to be. And we also encourage you, if you're interested in some trail riding this winter, consider coming to Lancaster. The Lancaster Motel is right on the corridor trail. You can stay at the motel, do some trail riding. You can also book an appointment to view the Crane's Snowmobile Museum, which is just down the street. It's an amazing 1-2 punch for snowmobilers because you get to do some trail riding on the trails that were created by the first snowmobile club in America, by the way. If you're into snowmobile history and doing some trail riding, there's no better place than in Lancaster and staying at the Lancaster Motel, which was the epicenter for all of these things. And like I said, the first snowmobile club in America was created in Lancaster, and you can still drive some of those historic, I call them the legacy trails. Of course, they've been improved and widened over time, to a more modern standard, but these are some of the first trails in America that people rode when they imported those Ski-Doo snowmobiles into the U.S. Through Lancaster. So Lancaster is very much the epicenter of snowmobile history in many ways, especially in the East. And the Lancaster Motel has been involved in that since the beginning. And we encourage you to patronize them either for ceremonies like this or in the winter for trail riding, or if you plan to come in and check out the museum, the Crane Snowmobile Museum. A couple of things though, if you're planning to visit the Crane's Museum, Crane Snowmobile Museum, and it's not, for this ceremony, you want to call ahead and book it because it is by appointment only. Paul Crane is very busy and he does require an appointment. But when you make your reservation at the Lancaster Motel, either for some trail riding or whatever reason you're planning to go there, make your next call to Paul Crane at the Crane Snowmobile Museum. You can do a Google search for Crane Snowmobile Museum or look for it on Facebook, and there's a phone number there. Give Paul a call to book a time to view the museum, and it's a wonderful way to round out your trail riding experience. Lastly, about the Lancaster Motel, you see on your screen they have seasonal room rentals. Now, this isn't for everybody, but for the right person, this is a really great opportunity. Let's say you're coming from out of state and you've got a trailer full of sleds and gear and all of that. You can trailer it up there once, leave your sleds and your trailer and all your gear and your suits and your helmets, leave it there at the motel for the month or for the season, and now this is your home away from home. You only have to tow everything up there once. You can just drive back and forth on weekends or however you're doing that, and you've got a home away from home. You can rent a room at the Lancaster Motel by the month or by the season, and just keep all your snowmobiles and your gear up in Lancaster. And for, like I said, this isn't for everyone, but for the right person, this is a really wonderful opportunity. So again, I hope you'll enjoy that. You will consider joining us today, either in person or online, for the induction ceremony of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. In case you didn't hear me earlier when I was talking about the Hall of Fame, we are going to be pre-selling a 5-disc set with the ceremonies from all 5 years of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, induction ceremonies from all 5 years. Ceremony number 5 is happening today, so we're going to videotape it today, and I still have to edit that and put that together, to make it a 5-disc set. So the disc won't be ready. Pardon me, the discs won't be ready until about mid-October. My hope is to mail them by October 15th. And if you're curious about this 5-disc set, there is a link in the description if you'd like to pre-order that. And again, I do have to caution you, they won't go out right away because we're videotaping it this afternoon. It's going to take some time to get everything set in order to mail it to you. But there's a link in the description if you'd like to pre-order your set. There's 5 discs. Each disc has an induction ceremony for each year. Plus, I've added some bonus material to each disc. So each disc has close to 2 hours, and some of this discs even more than 2 hours of content. They're just loaded with content, bonus content, and like that to you. If you're following the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and if you enjoy the clips of induction ceremonies that I've had on the podcast, this could be a nice set for you, a 5-disc set. And lastly, I'm repeating myself in case people are just joining us, but there's a vintage snowmobile show coming up, the show and swap event coming up next month, Saturday, October the 9th, Bethlehem, New Hampshire, right there on Main Street. If you're getting off I-93, head east through the little town of Bethlehem, and then continue going past through the town and beyond for 2 or 3 miles. It's going to be right there on the right. You can't miss it. Starts at 10 a.m. We ask the exhibitors and vendors to arrive at 9 a.m. to have some time to set up before the public begins showing up. There's going to be trophies awarded, and if you're bringing swap items, there is a vendor fee of $10. So I think that's it. I think I've made my point. I've made it several times because people are constantly coming on and coming off of the live podcast, but yeah, I'm getting ready to go to the induction ceremony here, be leaving shortly. Before I do, I just wanted to give another plug for it, and I hope that you'll decide to join us either in person or online, because we are streaming it live this afternoon. Wherever you're watching this, what I'm doing now is simulcasting in 8 places on Facebook and YouTube, and the ceremony will be simulcasting in 8 places as well. So wherever you're viewing this, if you'd like to view it live this afternoon, just come back to this location, reload the page a couple of times at 1:30, and you should see it right there, waiting to be viewed. Yeah, I plan to go live at 1:30 sharp. And I look forward to having you on there. And again, as I mentioned, this ceremony is a wonderful thing, this induction ceremony. And the induction ceremonies are racers from yesteryear, legendary racers from yesteryear. And as I'm going to ask you this favor, if you are watching it live on the podcast, on the live stream, please make comments as each of the inductees are being given their award. It's a wonderful thing. I'm going to be there in person on my cell phone, and I'm going to try to pop those comments on the screen so they can appear in, when each honoree is being honored. And I think that would be really special for them as they view it in the future, to see people online making comments for them. I think that would be really, really special. So anyway, I think that's it. I've repeated myself numerous times. Again, I do that because people are, popping on and popping off. But I hope that you'll join us today, either in person or online, for the live stream of the induction ceremony of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And I hope you'll also join us in a few weeks, Saturday, October 9th in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, for a vintage snowmobile show. All right, guys, that's it. We'll see you in a few hours in Lancaster, either in person or on the live stream. All right, guys, have a great day.